Sebastian for the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I am joined by.
Joe Katie of Finality.
It's going to be chatting to you this evening. Your debut album gets released in the first week of May. Can you tell us about the ideas and inspirations behind this masterpiece?
Sure, man. Technocracy came about probably about almost 4 years ago. We started putting together this band. So basically, I worked for our singers and our other guitar players' band as a road tech and a tour manager. Their band was Battlecross.
Yeah.
And so when the band started ramping down, I started finally getting more time. So I started putting together a band, and I was able to talk them into joining up. And from there, we just kind of, took it one step at a time and tried to create, something that isn't what they would normally do, but something that I guess I would normally do. And then Technocracy just kind of opened up from there. Started off with just like an idea from our drummer. He came up with the name out of nowhere, and then we kind of built the whole record around that, like the imagery and stuff. But all the songs it's not a concept or anything, so all the songs are a little bit different. Tony has a really good grasp on how he's presenting his self lyrically. We're playing a lot of heavier, faster stuff, but he tends to put a lot of positivity into the lyrics, which is a really cool way he does that. So, that's the long and short of it in 5 seconds, I guess.
All right, man. Well, we'll talk a bit about Battlecross in a minute.
Yep.
But a bit of a Battlecross fan, to be honest with you. And I caught the band in Newcastle about 5 years or 6 years ago, supporting Trivium, and
Yep.
I think, was it In Flames as well? Maybe, I can't remember. It was Trivium.
May I, maybe? I know they went over with
That was
Trivium
it.
and
That
Miss
was
May
it.
I. Yep.
Yeah, that was it. Fantastic. So we interviewed Gumby on the tour bus.
Nice.
It was a nice bus, mate. It was a nice bus, and it was a
Yeah.
cool interview. Yeah. All right. So carrying on with this band, though.
Yep.
So it's a couple of weeks now for the release. When did you have the album finished, and has the album been affected because of COVID and all that bullshit that's been going on?
Yeah, so we actually started tracking the drums in January of 2020, right before the world ended. And so we went in and we were just kind of on a budget type, this was just kind of a side project for fun. So we went into a friend's studio, we tracked the drums, and I had this lofty goal of, I'm going to have this thing done by September, October, or October of 2020. And a month later, the world ended, which, it was kind of rocky at first. We were trying to hammer as much of it out as we possibly could. And then when we realized that shit isn't changing anytime soon and live shows aren't coming back, it didn't make sense to rush finishing the record.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, because it ended up taking a huge toll on me physically and mentally, because I took on the entire production from the engineering to the production side to mixing, mastering, the whole works. So there's plenty of mental breakdowns and other things like that. But it took about, over the course of 2020 to 2020, end of 2022, I think we started mixing. So, but we took our time just to make sure it was done right, which was good. So that was the one good thing that came out of the pandemic.
Yeah. And I mean, I've sort of, like a lot of musicians have said, like, through the pandemic, some have already got like album number 2, album number 3 written. Is that the same for you?
Nope. No, I was so focused on this record that I wasn't able to write. We actually just started writing for album 2 right now. So
okay.
I tend to kind of lead the riffs and things like that and move everything forward. And then the guys will start to take my stuff and make it suck a lot less, so that we can present something that's pretty good.
Cool. So on release day, are you going to be having a release party? And if you do, would you live stream it?
So yes, we are. So on May 5th, the album Technocracy is released, and on May 6th, we're going to be at the Token Lounge in Westland, which is kind of like our second home. I've been playing there since I was probably 13, 14 years old. So nice club. We haven't agreed on anything with live streaming yet. I got to run that by the club owner and things like that. If we don't, I'm sure we're going to have some live clips up afterwards for sure. I would love to live stream the whole show, because all 4 bands on the bill are just phenomenal bands. We got Salvation's End, which is like if you take Judas Priest and mix it with Nevermore, it's phenomenal. We got Among These Ashes, which used to be our sister project. Myself and Huron were involved in. That's more of like a real Iced Earth style power thrash. And then Imminent Sonic's Destruction, which is, they're just like, they're progressive metal, but without the freaking pretentious bullshit. You know, you actually have good songs that you can listen to and not have to worry about them wanking all the time. So
Yeah, man, I know exactly what you're saying, man. Yeah, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Okay, so what formats will the album be released on? Is it going to be on LP, on vinyl?
I wish. Right now it's on CD. So we got CD and then of course digital streaming everywhere possible. So my goal is to hopefully do a vinyl. I haven't decided whether we want to do a, like a funding campaign for that, or just kind of sit back and see if anybody wants to release that on their end and handle that. That kind of is what happened with Among These Ashes. So I would really like that. So if we do, it'd probably be, with the delays and stuff, it probably won't be until next year or so. The one thing is, it's like we're just over the single LP time limit. So I'd have to do a double LP, which again doubles the price. And so we're trying to, and I don't really want to cut songs. So it's going to be a compromise or give or take there.
Okay. Well, that definitely deserves to be on vinyl. The artwork's stunning. And it make quite an interesting tattoo, don't you think? Would you have that as a tattoo?
Yes, sir. So I've got, it's actually funny, on this arm, that was my first band that I started everything, went all over the world with, all over America with. And then I have a Battlecross logo on my left shoulder, from going around the country in South America with them. So I got to get the Finality one somewhere on there. It's either going to be the character that Jason Cessna is the artist who pulled the artwork together for us. He's out of the band Astralborn, so definitely want it marked on me somewhere.
Definitely, mate, you should do. So as you know, the whole world's sort of reawoken and so many bands are out on tour now. It's going to be quite hard, I'm guessing, to get booked up for festivals and tours. I mean, how's that happening for you guys?
Because we're a fresh band, we're not we're not signed, of course. We're doing this all independently. We don't have the same ins that we normally had with the Battlecross guys. So we're just kind of playing it by ear. If something's offered, we'll do it. I've put a couple press kits out there to see if I can get onto some, but nothing's really bitten yet. Battlecross had to slow down and take a infinite hiatus because of everybody's life kind of getting out of hand, and they got to kind of, Tony's got 3 kids now. Huron's actually stepping away after this show. Huron's actually leaving our band as well. He's stepping out of music to just try to figure out what life is without it because he's been doing it for so long. So the touring aspect probably isn't in the cards. But I'm not never saying never. If we can pull together some mini runs here and there, or we get a couple good offers that get us, say, a good offer that gets us over to Europe, there's no way, and hell, I'm not going to try to take advantage of that and do a few shows and try to spread ourselves out there. It's the ultimate goal.
So yeah, obviously I was going to start asking you about Battlecross. I mean, so you were the roadie with them. You've never played on stage with Battlecross. No.
I did play on stage with them. So, so I started off as just the merch guy. My guitar shop was kind of closing down, and merch guy and doing guitar tech. I build guitars on the side. And I quickly kind of realized that they're doing way too much themselves. So I started taking on more and more and more. So I became tour managing. I became merch. I became guitar tech. And then it was, I think, 2015, Huron came out of nowhere. He calls me up. He's like, I'd been off the road for a little while because life happened to me. And he calls me up and he says, hey, we got a show in Colombia. I'd like to see if you can do that for me because I'm going to be at my brother's wedding. I'm like, yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. So South America, we leave it, or not South America. I was like, so South Carolina, right? And he's like, oh no, South America. And I'm like, oh, we're going to Bogota. And so that was my first show filling in for someone from Battlecross. And then not more than 2 months later, about a month later, Tony had asked me, hey, my kid's gonna be born at that time and I can't do the first half of the Guar run. And so I just turned around, learned all his parts, and then I did half of the 2-leg tour with Guar. So I played like 20 some odd dates on that run, which was an ultimate goal of mine since I was a kid is to play the same stage as Guar. So that was phenomenal. And then I got to hang out with the guys, I got real close with them. It's great. Best thing ever. Funny, man, before I even toured with them, I'd already saw them over 25 times from 1994 on. So it was like, I've been covered in blue. I've come home green. I've come home red, blue, and green. It's awesome. Man. Love it.
All right. So this is you've sort of answered this question then, really. You've toured and obviously worked and shared stages then with some massive names. So which three bands would be your ultimate bands then to take out on tour with you if you could go out on tour with Finality?
If we could get out on the road with Finality, it would be awesome to link up. And, I would kill to open up for someone, say like, I would love to say Iced Earth, but John ain't getting shit done anymore because of his issues. So the next step would end up being like a Blind Guardian, would be a dream of mine to kind of follow around and play with Halloween or Gamma Ray. I think we'd fit in well. If we were to pull off our own little thing together, it would probably be with those same bands who were on our CD release party, Salvation's End, Among These Ashes, and Sonic Destruction. Or our friends in Crimson Shadows out of Canada. Phenomenal band. Love those guys as well. We'd fit in well with them.
Cool.
So
actually, I did that question wrong. This was the one that should have been next. With Battlecross, rather, what would you say was your best memory? I'm guessing war.
That was probably my best memory, was being able to get up there and play. But honestly, it was the way. It's not really the memory per se. It was the bond that we all created, between me, Tony, Huron, Gumby, Don, and Brian, and Alex, and Mike, all the drummers. We went out there on such a shoestring budget. We had to make things happen, and we moved worlds to make some of these tours happen. We've had buses fall apart on lose brakes down the sides of mountains to where we have to go and rent 3 or 4 vehicles just to get to the next show on a festival tour that has 10, 12-hour drives each night. Wow. That shit is what I think I will take away from it, because it pulled us all together. And now I'm closer to the guys in Battlecross than I am with most of my family because of that. It's like we came out of war together. So that would be my best memory of it, just our memory or thing of it, just getting that bond with those guys. And now being able to have them in this project is a dream come true.
That's amazing. Okay, so for people, the uninitiated then, what can people expect from your band and the album?
So a little bit of everything. So the band was thrown together not as a power or thrash metal band per se, because I hate being labeled into the genre areas. So our drummer is a huge death metal fan, so that's why you're gonna hear a lot of double bass. You're gonna hear a lot of blast beats that are like, wait, why is there a blast beat in this? Because that's his style. I'm not gonna stop him from playing how he wants to play. We have stuff from power metal, big soaring epic vocals and fast lines, and we have clean things and that classic John Schaefer style staccato picking and stuff. So just an aggressive heavy metal record. That's what to expect, honestly. All clean vocals. That wasn't really a mandate. It was just how Tony felt when he came into the project. He was taking over for JP Abood, who's in Among These Ashes, and he was in Gatekeeper and Traveler. He was in too many bands. That's why I had to move someone else in. But he had a lot of aggressive vocals in our stuff because he was doing something different. And when Tony came in, he made that conscious decision. I just want to do clean vocals, and we just let him run with it. And I mean, the tracks he submitted, I wish I could have mixed them even better, because man, he was doing doubles and triples and 4-part harmonies. It's like, none of us knew he had that voice. We knew he sang because he sang in Battlecross when they first started, but it was a James Hetfield barking type thing. I never knew he had that in him. So that's the big takeaway, I think, is the vocals, Tony's performance on this record. And then John, our lead guitar player, his solos, I think he really kind of went out of his way to make them tasteful, where you can go ahead and wank and go nuts with it, but try to keep it to where it's memorable rather than how many thousand notes can we play in this one measure.
Brilliant. All right. And so next question, then. If there's a thrash metal song about yourself, what would it be called?
A thrash metal song about
yourself.
About what? About myself?
You, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it'd be like a DRI song or something, ultimate fuck up, because that's a story of my life. I kind of fuck up and then pick up the pieces and go ahead and fuck up again.
Yeah, know that feeling. Absolutely, I really do, man. All right. So you mentioned Metallica, so I'm going to have to briefly ask you: have you listened to their new album? Are you interested? Were you interested?
So yeah, I have the vinyl arrived yesterday. Right. It's in a pile right now because I got the Sentence box set as well. So I'm trying to get through all nine of those records. Right. But I have listened to 3 of the songs on it, and I'm happy with it. Cool. A lot of people will shit on Metallica because they changed their style. They're doing whatever. They think, oh, they need to hang it up. It's like, the way I look at it is, if they still want to do it, then they can fucking do whatever they want. They've earned that right. B, their machine is so massive. If they just gave it up, there's a bus or 2 load of people who are just gonna be jobless after that, or have to find something else. So they got a whole economy built around them. Yeah. And honestly, if I'm 60 plus years old and still writing riffs like that, fuck off. I'm good with it.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, man, that's true. Absolutely. Yeah.
James's right hand is still better than everybody's out there. I don't care, who you put him up against, and I'm sure just about any guitarist will probably say that, yeah, fucking Metallica, I'm sick of them. God damn it, James's hand.
Brilliant. All right. So if there was a song from the album to play to me to introduce me to Finality, which one would you choose? That's not been released already, or
so that was kind of a thing we all banged our heads against the wall when we originally put out the 2 singles. I would say the Video Revelation, but honestly, I think there's some better stuff that is not coming out. World Fell Apart is kind of a special song because my old band, Curse Attorney, it was written by the lead guitarist from that band who passed away a few years back. Right. So I was able to finally finalize that vision onto a record of his last song, basically. And the meaning of the song, the way it's delivered, it's more of like a rocking thrash song rather than just a big soaring one. And I think that would be, a head turner. If you're going to grab the record and you're looking for something catchy, pop song 7 in, and it's World Fell Apart.
Awesome. All right, man. So that's like a quick fire round. So it's 5 questions, either or either. So the first one is festival or small intimate gig.
Best festival or small intimate? I like doing the small intimate gigs. When you got 100 people or even sometimes less, they're just more in your face.
All right. So this one might be a bit contentious depending where you sit. Budweiser, right? Because that's all in the news over here.
Yep.
Or water.
So I am now sober for a little over a year and a half. So I'd have to go with water. But if I had to go back to it, nice. Congrats. If I had to go back to it, I'd say Coors Light.
Saint, are you a saint or a sinner?
A little both, I tend to lean a little bit more to the saint. I like to do the right thing, but man, there's sometimes you just got to do the wrong thing because it's just fun.
Absolutely. Next one is vinyl or digital?
Now, vinyl. I am a newly converted vinyl as about a year and a half ago.
And the final one is, it's the final one. Joe Biden or Kermit the Frog?
Kermit the Frog. Just because you could say any fucking U.S. president there, and I'd still say Kermit the Frog. They're all fucking corrupt pieces of shit. Fuck them all.
I love it, mate. I love the fact that I've seen your cat walking around. Usually my cat's making an appearance, so that's so cool.
I'm surprised he hasn't got up on the desk yet. He usually, whenever I'm talking, he needs to be right in front of you.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much for your time. Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers, and listeners?
I'm just I'm happy that the people have found the 2 songs that are out already, and there's a pretty big group of people waiting to hear the whole record. I got to make a record with some of my best friends, and I hope it comes across as that when you listen to it, and who knows what's next, but something's going on.